Welcome to the Industry Angel podcast. This series of episodes were live streamed on June 19th and the audio was downloaded as podcast episodes just for you. Stay safe, my friends, and keep in touch.
We have a no-nonsense stress buster. Our guest has taught thousands how to tackle stress and handle the challenges of life and work in ways that are straightforward, practical, and effective. Professional trainer of Stress Express at Feel Good Kick. Welcome to the Industry Angel, Gillian Fortune. Right, can I hear you? I can't hear you. Have you got yourself muted?
Yeah.
There you go, you've got yourself muted. You are causing trouble today, sister.
Hang on. Communication, right? I've been in this green room since 9:45 just to make sure that I was in, etc. You never said don't come in early. You never said.
If you check your emails, my friend, I've sent you the link and I've said be here 10 minutes before.
Well, I was here 10 minutes before.
You were here about an hour before. You were here before me.
Yeah, I know. So you'll have a LinkedIn message going, Ian, there's nothing happening. Help.
Honestly, my phone is on fire at 10:03 going, Farrar, where are you? I'm like, I know.
Well, of course, at 10:02, I'm thinking, I must have got the tech wrong because tech's, my nemesis, but I'm dealing with it. And so it got to 2 minutes past 10 and I thought, right, okay. And just as my brain started to go into, a little bit of stress mode, I put myself into thinking mode and I ran my friend an English, our friend an English, because I know she's done one of your podcasts. And she just talked me through and she said, no, don't worry, it'll be on and then you came on at 3 minutes past 10. But at 2 minutes past 10, I was thinking, I'm in the wrong place.
We've got this. Yeah. Don't worry.
And then you started asking, when Adrienne come on, you started asking Adrienne like true or false. And I'm thinking, I thought you were going to do that for everyone. So I don't know what to expect, Ian. That's the truth.
Hang on then, true or false? Do you want some?
I can handle anything.
I do have a little quiz for Ray. When's Ray on? Ray's on after you. He's probably not watching, right? He doesn't know what to expect. But I'm going to throw a quiz at him.
All right, okay.
But he's a true performer, so he will just deal with it instantly.
Right,
Pet, what's going on?
Oh, well, I've become a Zoom queen, Ian. I mean, you were asking the question, what have you been doing? Oh, there you go. There was something. It's the Zoom queen. From my point of view, I sat here at the beginning of lockdown. And I do face-to-face training in the workplace and for different organizations and charities, and I run my own events and speaking and it had all gone. And I thought, well, I'll not tell you what I thought. And this is about online. And seriously, 4 months ago, when people were saying, oh, well, can you Zoom? I didn't know the first thing about Zoom. So I sat here and thought, well, I've got two options, really. I just have to wait until all of this is over or I do something about it. And I'm now delivering workshops online, masterclasses online. And recently, I work a lot teaching parents of children with mental illness and worked with an organization, and we did a Zoom / Facebook Live. And that session has been seen by over 300 parents. Of children with mental illness.
Well, was that in a Facebook group, Gillian?
Yeah, well, it was snazzy because it was me and the host were on Zoom and then it delivered to Facebook Live. Don't ask us how, because I have no idea. But the point is, I could never have gotten to 300 people all at once. I mean, and that was just amazing. And so for me, that's what's changed. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm loving lockdown. I mean, I'm not loving that people are struggling. Other people are struggling. And I've had COVID and recovered. So that's the ideal. it's working for me, but I've made it work. I think that's the difference. I don't want to sound trite there saying, oh, it works for me. No, I've made this work. And I think the future here, and Alfie Joey made a comment earlier about, you know, if we go back to the way we were, then that's quite ridiculous. But so for me, I've changed just so much. In fact, I'm not going back to the old ways of working at all. I'm the new Zoom queen.
Good, and that's obviously what Adrian was saying. You know, we can't return, and I think you're probably not loving it, but you've adapted. You've adapted really well by the sounds of it, and I think a lot of us have. I know the first 2 weeks of lockdown for me, it was like it was like lying on the beach a little bit. You know, the alcohol consumption increased a little bit. I eased off the pedal a bit, and then I thought, wow, I can't keep doing this, and I had to then give myself a new routine. You know, because my routine, I mean, I'm a real creature of habit. We are as humans, and children certainly are as well. And you mentioned there about working with children. I think children are a lot more resilient than us, but there is a point where children do need our help and our guidance. And if we haven't got structure, then...
What's funny though, Ian, is I don't work with children. I work with parents.
Parents of children, yeah.
However, because I teach them techniques, really practical ways to handle things, what happens is I teach the parents, and because the parents are handling things better, they're handling the situations, which actually helps the family. But I think I love it. I design my things so that parents can pass them on to children or within the family. And so when parents pass the techniques on to their children, and then the children pick them up, what you find then is the children remind the parents, because you're right, we're creatures of habit. Our brains love routine and rhythm and pattern. But because we're adults and we've got our long-held ways of doing things drop off. Whereas when you've got a child in your family that reminds the parent of the techniques and they do them together, that for me, when I get that kind of feedback, I love it. And I think that's a great successful thing for a family. So yeah,
it is. And I know you're going to give us some techniques, and this is what I wanted to do on this particular conference, is give people some takeaways and help people back. And I mean, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but you know, you mentioned about impact, and we broke 100,000 downloads on the podcast during the pandemic, and I love that because I know people have been impacted and people have gained value, and the messages that I receive in emails and text and social stuff just have really inspired me to do more of this stuff. It is quite addictive. So you just said there that you've impacted 300 people, then fantastic, and I'm sure you'll impact more today. So what I really wanted you to come on, Gillian, you are a wise woman, my friend, but also I wanted some key takeaways, something people can start implementing in their lives and help them going forward.
Okay. John said that managing fear is a key issue. And then you repeated what he said was about, if you know what you're dealing with, you can deal with anything. And that's kind of key for me, because one of the things, I've got two techniques for you, or for everybody, but one of the things is I wanted to talk about change and uncertainty, and we're in the biggest period of change and uncertainty. And the thing is, because our brains actually love routine, rhythm, pattern, consistency, we actually psychologically resist change. And especially when it's being forced upon us, when we're choosing to change, that's a little bit different, but it's out of our comfort zone. So, and change, it threatens our emotional well-being because it creates uncertainty. I've got a lovely quote here for you by a horror writer from the 19th and early 20th century, from H.P. Lovecraft. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. And that is what uncertainty does for us. It puts our brains into this threat mode. So coming on to the first technique that I want to teach everybody is the instant your brain perceives a threat. Now, it's built over millions of years. Your brain is built to be on alert to perceive threat, but it's built to perceive, danger, harm. But now we've evolved. We're still seeing threat, because anything that makes us that hurts us physically puts us in any danger, but also it's on alert for anything at all that makes us feel emotionally uncomfortable or creates any kind of discomfort and anxiety for us. And that's the old part of your brain, called the reptilian part of your brain. Ta-da! The thing is, that is on alert. That part of your brain is on alert all of the time, looking out for threats. And when it comes across something that's going to threaten our physical body or our emotional well-being, it kind of signals, it's like a dee-nah. And then your brain, the other part of your brain, the middle part of your brain, the limbic system, goes, we've got a problem, and starts with an anxiety response. It can start off quite mild, but it's an anxiety response. And once you're in that part of your brain, that's the anxiety, fear-driven, emotional part of your brain. And once that kicks in, that feeling of anxiety goes right through your body. And when I talk about anxiety, I'm not necessarily talking about panic attacks here, but that goes right through your body in a few seconds, right? So far, so anxious. The point is, if you don't know how to stop that, it then continues on another loop and on another loop. And we all know what it's like to overthink. Thinking is brilliant. Overthinking is the problem. So once we start to allow that fear to continue on the loop, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And what we've got to do is get our brains out of that mode and into, are you ready for me final prop? Calm brain, control mode, from this front part of your brain. Your
Was that a dolphin or a shark?
Well, do you know what? I usually ask that question when I've got longer. I ask the question. I don't know if it's a dolphin or a shark, but I showed it the other night. And do you know what people focused on? The zippy bit.
The zippy bit?
The zippy bit. Well. They were talking about me showing the private parts of dolphins. I mean, really? I don't know what people are on sometimes. But yeah. But the point is, right, once your brain is in that phase, you're then anxious and you start to go into your stress response mode. So we've got to get out of it. The thing is, how do we get out of it? Well, don't worry. I'm going to tell you, because I'm asking the questions and I'm answering them as well. So what you have to do is take an action. What are you laughing at? Right.
There is. I might as well just kick me.
Don't. Well,
come on, you ask the questions, right. You answer them.
Right. The thing is, I'm asking and answering, because the point is this: you have to get your brain into action mode. You have to get it into thinking mode, working from a different part of your brain, this prefrontal cortex. How do you do it? You take an action. And I am now going to give you the action to take. And it's this. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hang on, I might have a drum roll somewhere. No, I won't drum roll one.
That would have been brilliant. We should have planned this a bit better, but never mind. Next time we'll have a drum roll. In fact, next time I'll have it as a prop. But you take a breath, right? You take a breath, right? You go, right? One breath. That's it. The instant you take that breath, your brain's in control mode. Now it took a second. That's it. And I know people are going to be thinking, if I was paying for this, I'd feel a bit robbed, because she's just taught us how to take a big, deep breath. No, I didn't. I taught you how to take a big, deep breath on purpose. On purpose. Yeah. That is key. That is what makes this work. What you're doing is getting off that roundabout by taking an action, and the action is a big, deep breath. And it's just one action that you can take, but I'm telling you now, I've taught so many people this, and it works for them. It's amazing, because it stops that loop. It puts you into control mode, which is working from your rational brain, your thinking brain. And when you're in that mode, you can come up with solutions. You can't come up with solutions when you're in anxiety brain. So once you're in there, the thing is, you're in control mode. But more importantly, and we all know this, thanks, Alfie, we all know this though, is that when we get a bit anxious or stressed or worried, we react, we say the thing that we know we shouldn't have said. And we do that. We all know this, yeah? But I'm bothered about we even start the thinking processes that really don't serve us, but we know that we say the thing. So when you take that big deep breath, it might only be a second, but believe me, it's in that second where you don't say the thing, you don't do the thing, you don't think the thing, and it puts you in control.
Should we have should we take a second to have a big breath together?
Yeah, go on then. I think that was your way of going, Gillian, take a breath, please.
I want to. Have you got any techniques? Do you do like 3 in, hold it, and 3 out or something?
No. You see, that's different. Now, when we start to get into that kind of technique, which is very simple, and if we've got time, I'll talk people through that one. But the point is this is about getting you in control. And the instant you're in control, then you can do other things. But you have to be in control brain to be able to then take action to be calm. But this just stops your automatic negative reactions and you're in control. So is everyone ready? Right? I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then we're just going to stop and take a big deep breath on purpose. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. That's it. You can let that out. You don't have to wait. You don't have to, whatever. You're now in control mode. Now, just a funny little thing here. I've taught this to so many people, and it's amazing how many people have said to me, oh, yeah, I took the big deep breath, but then, a couple of minutes later, I had to take it again, and then a couple of minutes after that, and I ended up having to take 20 breaths, right? And my response is this. Fine. Your choice. Take a breath or don't take a breath. And taking a breath 20 times, fair enough. But let me tell you now, the alternative is for your brain to stay in anxiety mode. I'd rather be taking 20 breaths than feel anxious. And so that's it. It's the first technique I'm giving you is as simple as that, but you have to do it on purpose.
Is it a bit of a reset, Gillian? So are you literally just resetting your brain? I know our brains make like tens of thousands of decisions a day subconsciously for us. But sometimes when you're overthinking, you've got loads of stuff going around your mind. Are you just saying, sitting down, taking a breath, resetting?
You know something? Yes, that is what I'm saying. Although for some people, it isn't reset. Sometimes just being in control mode is like, something new. But when I said that here I was sat here at 10 o'clock going, oh, I think I'm in the wrong place. Right? Now, I could have let that go on, but because I do what I do, I just sat here and went, right, okay, breathe. I took my breath and I actually said to myself, okay, what can you do? And that was when I rang Anne, because I knew that Anne would be able to tell me. So what I'm trying to say is I could think about something to do rather than sit here and go, oh, I don't know what to do. And if I hadn't taken that breath, you can stay there for a while. I'm not talking about people being stress heads. I'm just talking about when the thing happens in that moment, taking a breath makes you able to think and find a solution. You cannot find a solution when your brain is working from the limbic system, from fear, from anxiety and emotion. So yeah, a reset. Next question.
Takeaway 1, complete.
Ta-da!
Takeaway 2, engage.
Okay, right.
Hang on, Gillian, what's in the boxes?
Files and
not
stuff.
Any more cuddly toys.
No. Files and other props. I've got other props for different things. I know. Shall I show you one of my props? Right. That sounds. No, I won't show you.
Is it a rhino? Because they're my favourites.
No, but I'll make up a technique where I can use a rhino. Right.
Good.
I'll find
I'm sure
out.
it'll be about thick skin and wearing armour.
Yeah.
Come on,
all right.
then. Take away right. Too. Shut up, Farrar.
Okay. Yeah, shut up, you. Right. So once you've taken your big deep breath, the next technique is about tricking your brain. Now, if you've worked with me in any way before, these are two techniques that you will have learned. I just want to preempt the technique though, because, this is all about getting back to business, getting back into the workplace, and the uncertainty that goes along with that, Ian, because that was kind of one of the things that we were talking about, is people going back and feeling unsure and uncertain. And when I've spoken to people, quite a few people have gone back, but their jobs have changed. And that in itself creates this uncertainty that leads to some form of anxiety and then stress. So here is my technique for that. The first thing is do the big breath technique, because keep yourself in control mode. But the next one is once you're in control, you want to feel more confident. And I'm going to teach you now how to trick your brain into feeling more confident. So it's a really, really easy technique. When you feel confident, your posture is positive. Your shoulders are back, your head is up. That is, I know, I love it when people do this, Ian. People all of a sudden start doing that, because I usually tell people off, when they're online. This works online brilliantly. But the point is, our posture is upright, we're positive, our head's up. So not only is our brain in positive thought mode, but it shows in our body language. But conversely, when we are in negative mode, when we are unsure, when we're worried and we lack in that confidence, our posture closes in on itself. And as we close in, the brain starts to work in that less confident mode. So the instant you can be confident and feel confident, and this is the technique. So you've taken your big deep breath, and now you're going to take another action. And it is simply, I'm feeling like that. I'm going to get my shoulders back and get my head up. So come on, everyone, shoulders back, head up. And you can take a big deep breath. In fact, normally as you do this, you would take a big deep breath at the same time. Now, if you do that quickly in order to trick your brain, so you're feeling it lacking in confidence, and then you just go, come on, all of a sudden your brain goes, way, get in, right? And your brain, you're working from this part of your brain, but you start now to produce hormones, positive feel-good hormones, and then you give off signals. So you are now in control mode, feeling more confident, and keep your shoulders back, keep your head up on purpose. And you feel much more confident. And when you are there, you can start to think. You see, when we're in worry mode, we feel less confident to be able to deal with problems. In fact, when we're in worry mode, we really can't, because two different parts of our brain that can't work at the same time. So the instant we put ourselves into this positive body posture, our brain works accordingly, and we can start to think about solutions and not problems, so we can deal with situations. So that is the technique. Shoulders back, head up on purpose, right? And keep doing that, and keep that posture if you possibly can. But I've got a couple of minutes, so I'm going to tell you this part, because this is really important. Other people pick that up unconsciously, and they're looking constantly at people. We all are. We are always looking around. We see people, and before we have a conscious thought, we have weighed them up, and we have decided, based purely on the signals that that person's given off and their body posture, that's a confident person. Here's what happens. When we perceive confidence, we then perceive competence. So it doesn't matter what is actually going on. If that person is going, hey, look at me, I'm confident, right? We perceive that they are more competent if they are confident. And when we think that people are confident and competent, we treat them differently. We treat them more positively. And I just can't begin to tell you how many people I've taught to deal with professionals. Again, dealing with people who are bosses, managers, when you don't have the confidence. Once you do this, people believe in your confidence and treat you accordingly. So here endeth the lesson. But before you say anything, Ian, I'm just going to tell you this, right? I know, take a breath, right? I research all the time, and I just make stuff simple because I don't see the point in making everything complex. Making it simple is my superpower. But the thing is, in all the research around uncertainty I read, what they kept coming up with was, so how do people handle uncertainty? And what they came up with, in a nutshell, was be in the moment. And these studies are from the last 5 or 6 years, and that's great. And I thought, yeah, I've been teaching this for a long time. When you feel uncertain, having a simple, straightforward, practical action to take is what changes everything. And that's it. But I know the question you're going to ask us is, what can we tell leaders? What message can we give to leaders? My message is this. Shut up, don't make me sound.
I am totally redundant. I get this.
Listen, my message to managers and leaders is this. You can have the best policies, procedures, perk boxes in the world. And I love the processes that Adrian's talked about, and John's talked about. But if as a manager and a leader, if you haven't allowed your people to learn, and from me, I suggest, how to handle those moments of insecurity, of change, of lacking in confidence, of how to be in control, you've let them down. And that is my message, is give your people the opportunity to be able to handle what life and work throws at them. Right, you can ask us a question now if you want.
I'm not, that was really powerful.
That was fine.
Thanks so much. We've got some great feedback from everybody who's watching. So good. Thanks for sharing that, Gillian. And I can imagine everybody watching home breathing in and out now, and they're all sitting up straight. And so well done. You've given us a bit of a kick.
It matters online as well. It matters online because, again, if you're in a business situation, and Chloe Page, because I've done a lot of stuff on the Muscle Club over the past few months, isn't saying to people, if you want to be taken seriously when you're business networking, shoulders back, head up, and look like you mean business.
Right, that's a great place to leave it on, because you've meant business today, and to be honest, I could have removed me out of that hole and I could have had a rest for half an hour. You've just shared so much wisdom, so that was great. I've had a breath. Thanks for all your cuddly toys. Try and get a rhino next time. I think it might have been a blue whale, to be honest, a blue whale, not a dolphin.
Whatever.
Right. Okay, sister, I love you. See you soon.
Ta-ra.
There she is. She's gone. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for all the comments whilst you've been watching live.